Hi everyone, I'm Danielle. Welcome to Danielle's Garden, and today's video focus is trellising tomatoes. I kind of copied this from someone else on YouTube and kind of just made it work for me. So I'm going to go over what the wood structures are and then how I trellis the tomatoes. When I started my garden last year, I planted my tomatoes and did not trellis them when I planted them. And they were all of a sudden 3-4 feet tall, were not trellised, and we had major rain coming in and I did not want them to get damaged. And so I researched very quickly a cheap trellising system, because if you have looked, tomato trellises tend to be very expensive. And like the cages, and I just did not have that money. I also do not have the space. One of my favorite people that I watch, because we live in similar areas, is Jess from Roots and Refuge, and you can see that I do not have the room to just do cattle panels down, which is what I would do if I had the room. So I needed something a bit more vertical, and so what I have is a wood frame, and then the wood frame has beams at the top. And those beams, which is like a furring strip, a 1x3 strip, or whatever the 1-inch strip is, has hooks in them. And I built this gray one last year out of untreated wood. I did it for like $20. And then I built this newer one this year out of treated wood, and it was a bit more expensive, but as you can see, it's still holding up, great condition. So if you're on a budget like I was last year, you can get 1x3s, just like stud 1x3s, 4 of them for super cheap, and the furring strip. And I had the people at Home Depot cut it because I needed it done that day. With this treated one, I did 2x4s, and it was a bit more expensive. So let me show you a quick tour of how the wood is set up, and then we'll get to trellising the tomatoes. Okay, so this is the one that we built this year, and these right here are 2x4s. This strip right here is actually a 2x4, but it wasn't supposed to be. I just measured wrong. This one's a 1x3, and then these are 1-inch furring strips. This one is the untreated wood, and these are 1x3s. These are, I think, like 1x2, maybe, if that's even a thing. And then it's like very similar across the top, cheap. And however, I just really do recommend having the sturdiness in the beams, so either the 1x3 or the 2x4, and then anything across the top is fine, to be kind of whatever wood. And then at the very top in the wood, I have hooks, and that will get the string that trellises the tomatoes. I would say that, spiderweb, if you were going to build this, you would need 4 1x3 or 2x4x8s, and then you could do, if you're doing it 4 feet wide, then you just get 1 smaller strip to connect the very top, and then you get 2 8-foot pieces to go along, or however works for you and how many tomatoes you're growing, and this, that, and the other. Like, this is very easy. And I dug these into the ground about 12 to 14 inches, and then I screwed them in to the base of my bed, which is a 2x6 board. So it moves a little bit, but not like it's not going anywhere. And then this one hardly moves at all. But it's not like they're surviving tornadoes out here. It's to hold up tomatoes. So other than the wood, what you need are staples, and I have like under 20 tomatoes, so you just need 1 staple per tomato. And then you need some type of twine, and of course I got hot pink. We'll see if this is enough. I also have white twine, just not one that will obviously disintegrate. This is like a nylon one, and it's still, there's still a string over here hanging. It doesn't really disintegrate at all. And then I have it all in this bucket, but I have hooks and I have washers. And these are the ones that last year when I was taking the garden apart, I didn't like disconnect them. But you need washers. So washers, hooks, staples, twine. And once you buy a giant thing of washers, you never had to buy them again. The hooks were really cheap too, and I think the twine, I got some cheap twine. So how this works is at the base of each tomato, we will take a yard staple. This is not sealed correctly. Let's see. You also need scissors, which is what I need right now. So at the base of each tomato plant is going to be a staple. And what you do is you take your twine and you tie it to the bottom of the staple, just in a knot. And I didn't even double knot it. This one will not move. So this is what goes at the base of the tomato. Then I will stretch out the twine the length of my trellis, which is roughly 7 feet. And then what you'll do is you'll tie the top of this to a washer. And these ones I do double knot. So the pre-planning on my part was that I pre-built the trellis, and then I intentionally planted the tomatoes underneath the trellis. But then when I went back and planted a tomato in the middle, it doesn't have a place to trellis up. So, but let me show you. Okay, so what I have done is I have stapled the landscape staple here, and I've twirled it around the tomato very loosely, and then I've taken it all the way up here and I hooked it up on this hook. And I did too much string, but that's okay. But overall, it's hooked up here, and as the tomato grows, you will circle the string around the tomato stem. So I've got a tomato here that has been kind of hit by the water and is bending over, and I need to get it standing up. So I'm going to tie my string around my hook, my staple, like that. I'm going to put it at the base of this tomato, and I'm going to take the string and measure how much I need to get to the top of the trellis. Next thing I'm going to do is I have my washer, and I'm going to double knot around the washer. And then I'm gently going to stand this tomato up and loop the string around it. So you can see it goes at the base of this tomato, circles the vine, and then is strung up to this hook right here. I do need to prune these tomatoes right here. My indeterminate tomatoes, which I trellis like this, I keep them pruned up. I am very humid in South Carolina and it gets very hot, and I need air to move through them. And last year I cut them pruned up and I had almost literally no disease. The only pest issue I had was stink bugs. So this works really well, especially in hot and humid climates. And I don't let them get crazy. I do keep them vined up, and then every maybe a foot or two that they grow, I go take the string down, loop it, and hang it back up on the hook. I am going to trellis three more tomatoes tonight. Some of them are not big enough for me to waste my time on trellising them right now, especially when it's hot outside. So I'm going to put 3 more trellises on, and I deal with my determinate tomatoes a bit differently in the sense that I don't trim them all down, but I am going to trellis them the same, just because once they're done producing, I'll really cut them back. So let me go ahead and get these 3 indeterminates trellised, and then we'll move on to the determinate tomatoes. There's literally a spider eating something in the corner over there. This just took me 7 minutes, which I think is okay. I wasn't speeding it. I was just doing it, and I think that's a pretty good time. A side comment to that is I've got spiders, and I don't mind spiders. It's just I mind them when they're in the way. So there's one that has set up shop between that green pole and this piece of wood, and it's getting bigger and bigger, and that's not where it can stay. So some of these I will have to relocate. Some of them might be fine. There's one between the ladder and the pole right there, and I found a spider's nest in the top corner up here of this one. So some of those might end up moving. I won't kill them. I usually just like get a broom and swipe them and then go shake them into some trees. But now that I've done these ones, part of me is thinking that I should just go ahead and do my other 3 that I have over there. So let's travel back to the other tomato bed. Okay, so this is the determinate tomatoes, and all but one back here is done, strung to the top. And then here are the other ones, all strung up. And there is a little bit of slack in them. They're not all taut. Having the slack is perfectly fine because these tomatoes will go all over the place, and so having a little bit of extra is fine. The other good thing is that if they do outgrow the washer, I can unhook it, cut another foot of string, tie it, and extend the chain. So it is very flexible, because my indeterminates last year, I had one grow all the way to the top, and then it grew at least another 4 feet, like across. So what is that, like 10, 12 feet long? So it's good that this is very flexible and you can use it to keep them supported however tall they do get. And like more on the spider note, there's one, sorry, that was a really fast turn. There is one spider in and around this trellis, and there's spiders in these supports. So I am gonna have to deal with those just because I'm not trying to get bit. Even if they are harmless, they still leave a bite, and I don't want to deal with that. So other than the 1,000 mosquitoes that are circling me right now, and the dogs, like they're literally circling the camera, and y'all can't see them obviously, but it is insane. One thing that I have been somewhat stressed about is pollinators. A lot of the flowers that I started from seed, I kind of stuck in like places, and so I have nasturtium, but it's not blooming yet. I have marigolds in my green stalk that aren't blooming yet. I have marigolds in here that I started from seed, they're not blooming yet. The zinnias, the few of them are blooming, but I'm really kind of self-conscious about it because I need pollinators in the garden. So I went to a local plant nursery type place. It's like right down the street from me. It's really awesome, and they have a ton of variety. And sorry, both of my dogs are down here. They have a ton of variety, and I was really just looking for pollinators, and I had to get those landscape staples from Home Depot. So I did check out the Home Depot Garden Center first. Their garden center first, but they didn't have like marigolds at all, and they didn't even have zinnias. They had salvia, the red salvia, which pollinators do like, but one, they were expensive, and I was just not gonna pay that much money for that. So then, like, Home Depot's the furthest away from me, so then I stopped at Lowe's, and Lowe's had very few 6-packs, but they did have marigolds. Oh, they were actually 8-packs, but they did not look that healthy, and like every one that I picked up, 1 or 2 of the plants was missing or dead, and they didn't have like any sales for Memorial Day, and I'm not paying $4 for marigolds. They didn't have any salvia that was in small packs, and they didn't have any zinnias, that nothing like pollinator friendly. And then they did have vinca, but I already have vinca, plenty of it, and that's not as pollinator attractant as what I wanted. So I went by the last place that I do like just to see, because they'd gotten a ton more in stock. They posted on Facebook. And so I picked up 2 4-packs of marigolds, and these are so healthy. These look awesome. They look like 14 times better than anything I've ever seen at Lowe's. So, and they didn't have price tags, but the only 4-pack that I saw out there was $8. And I feel like that was also priced wrong in general. But I went up to the counter and I said, hey, how much are these? Because there's no way that marigolds are $8. And he's like, no. And turns out that this 4-pack was $2. So I got 2 of these marigolds, and then I saw these zinnias that I thought were really pretty, and they kind of are in that like sunset theme, and these were also $2. Now I do know that a pack of seeds is $2. I understand, but I need blooms now because I want pollinators over there now as things are starting to flower, and I don't want, like last year I didn't get any squash, and also my green stalk, I want to make sure that's getting pollinated, and nothing is blooming on it yet, but nothing is blooming on it yet, though the marigolds are growing. So anyway, so I picked up 16 little packets, and these do awesome in my area, and the pollinators really do like these flowers. And so I'm gonna go stick these all over the flower garden, or the vegetable garden, and then I'm gonna put one in the green stalk, I think. I think this will help hopefully bring some pollinators in. Now, my garlic was a fail. I went over that. I've got it kind of cut up right now, and I'm just letting it dry out. But now I have this bed, and I think that I'm going to do a bit of chaos gardening, and it'll probably be like another video. Let me pull some weeds. I have a lot of random veggies and flowers, and I think that I'm just gonna stick them in there. So let's see what I'm gonna do. Now, I'm not gonna do it in this video, but this is what I'm thinking. Okay, I've got watermelon, I've got tomatoes, I've got squash, and I've got peppers. And then I've got Dusty Miller, I've got echinacea, I've got vinca, and I've got Terenia, and I also have some sunflowers, and these are habanada peppers, which I'm really excited about. But I have all of this, and I have that open bed, and I think that I'm gonna just be a bit chaotic, because here's the thing, these are all extras. If I lose them, I lose them. If they do something awesome, then they do something awesome. So I think I'm just going to do a bit of chaos gardening and see how it goes. Okay, so chaos gardening idea aside, the last thing I need to do is to put some zinnias in the green stalk. Now, from when I planted it, let's see, are they gonna... Okay, let's get them off the road. So my green stalk has grown a lot. My salvia, I also think that I have a tomato plant somehow coming in, but like minus, these are my beans, my nasturtiums, ooh, a strawberry. Like even these marigolds have grown a ton. They were like this tall. So I'm gonna be getting blooms soon. Like these things are all in great shape. But ooh, you see the spider? Like I told y'all guys, I got lots of spiders. So yeah, things are looking good, but I want to add some flowers over here just to get some more pollinators over here. I still haven't done anything with these, which I need to. I think that I'm going to put them up here in the top. I have 4 of them, so I'll just do like 2 and 2, and then I'll just bring some flowers over here. Okay, so here we go. I just put them across from each other. I think it's super sweet. I think the color goes really well with the green. So I really like this, and hopefully that'll bring some pollinators over. Okay, so thank you so much for joining today. I hope that the budget tomato trellis was helpful, and I'm excited to have that done because the more rain we get, the more likely they are to be damaged and plop over. So thanks for joining, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.